history, you'll know that karate, to be accepted as a proper do, a proper way, had to fall in line with the concepts that had been established in kendo and judo and all the other formal systems of training and ranking. It had to fall into that pattern to be accepted as a proper martial art. So it was changed a lot. A lot of what happened was the stances got longer, kata became practiced as an individual thing where you just practice against the empty air, and the secret meanings, the secret hidden moves within the katas that made them dangerous were not taught. The theory is, and I'll explain this very simply, the body is covered with certain points which, if you hit them on their own, have some effect, but if you hit them in combination, have a bigger effect. And sometimes the effect's very dramatic. It's to knock people unconscious. It's to kill them. Now the katas, the secrets of the katas, were only based on this. Even the wrestling and the grappling and the throwing did it the way they knew was most effective, which was by using the weakest parts of the human body, not the strongest. That would be crazy. So, and I'll let go of your hand because people might think about it. People might imagine, this is just me speaking, but some of you have a copy of the Bubishi, and you'll notice that the Bubishi tells you quite straightforwardly that the unarmed combat techniques are based on striking the vital points. It's not me saying it, it's historical knowledge. What has been lost in the Japanese art is how to do it, because most of the Japanese senses do not know this. And as soon as you see them doing kata bunkai, you know they don't know it. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody. I think there are some of the... I have most respect for some of the Japanese instructors. And I've learned so much from them. But I'm not blind. I know that most of them do not understand this part because they were never taught it by their teachers. Their teachers were never taught it. You have to ask yourselves, why would they? As far as the Okinawans were concerned, the Japanese were invaders. You wouldn't want to teach an invader some secret way of making you even more under their power. That's crazy. This is a hell of a technique. Now let me show you. I'll use you, Paul, because you're the biggest, in case you don't mind. You can sit down. This occurs many times, this technique occurs many times. It occurs most times every Shotokan karateka starts to do it just here. Why do you do that? Any answers? We were told to. Some people go, but why? Why don't they just go like this? Why is it important to cross the hands? Because it's a technique. There are so many. I'll start with the little techniques and then show you the real killers, okay? The little techniques are again from here. He's bad news to you, so you just do the technique. Take him home. It's very easy. Hello, Mum. Even simpler. So simple. You've done it now. Nothing means nothing. Everything means a technique. But let's look at this. This is a classic. This is absolute classic. He's going to kick me. Yeah? And I'm stopping like this. And he's such a nice guy, he isn't going to hit me. Do you believe this? No. Do you practice this? Yeah? If you have to, you practice it. Now you know why people don't believe in katas. This means a number of things. We've already seen it's a wrist lock. We've already seen it's a disengagement. It's also a hell of a mean strangle. Now I'll show you a mixture of two things. Sometimes you have people that grab you from behind and try and put your arm up behind your back, like so. Yeah? It can be bad news. The katas tell you how to get out of that. So from here, bring it into your body so that it can't go up any higher. Turn around, bang. There's the first technique. If he's very close, it's empty. But whatever, it's here, across the side of the jaw, gallbladder, the stomach 5 point, and under the ear, triple warmer 17, and to the back, gallbladder 20. The whole lot, bang, in one strike. Now, he might not have let go, particularly if he's got your wrist with both hands. Say you've got your wrist with both hands. Wrist. And to try and twist. They won't necessarily let go straight away. So you turn from here, one strike, bang. Then this is, you can't practice this technique now. From underneath here, up, under. Okay? The kata shows you, if you're a big guy, up, push back, and then strike. Okay? But from here, he can't use these arms anymore, they're locked. I like to go underneath, so I use Nakadaka Ken here, underneath here, and then under, like so. Now, look where my hands are. Look at the position of my hands. They're crossed. What am I going to do now? You're not even going to break fall, because what I'm going to do from here is go here. His hands are here. What part of him is going to hit the floor? His face. That way. And his neck will break. There's no break fall for this. Now can you see the point of being down here? But it doesn't end there. Let's assume I've been nice. And we've done this other technique. We're resting like this, okay? And I've got bang up underneath here. And then I've done makikomi. Over. There. And then from here, I do down to the rib cage. Diaphragm across here. Strangle. Tap. He's out. That's the reason for drop, down, strangle. Doesn't matter if he hasn't got clothes on, drop, down, strangle. He can't breathe here or here. Very nasty technique. And that's the nice way. If I've driven him into the floor, his neck's broken anyway. Agiyuki. You all practice Agiyuki, yes? Yeah? Always as a block. This is how it's normally done. Hey, get him like my feet. Hey, Jordan's here. And then, from here, I'm supposed to hit him before he takes my head off with the other hand. Yes? In whose dream? It is a ludicrous thing to do. Okay, now let's show you what it's for. So you grab here. No, do it for them so they can see. He is now in a real position to hit me. Say, well, you wouldn't do that. Come on, be real. You just go bang. You wouldn't cock your fist up here. Wherever it is, you just hit, okay? Now, if I'm standing this way, this is bad news for me. What does my kata tell me I have to do? This way. Yes? Katas tell you. But also, let's look at Agiyuki. If I can't just get out of the way, I want to do something else. What's the point of doing Agiyuki now? Well, look, if I touch here, or if I hold here, and I pull back because I want to step into my stance to get away from that fist, this is the danger to me. Okay? So I'm going to take this lung 5 point, and as I go back, here, his head will turn round this way. Even if his hand comes out, it can't hit me. Or there's no power to it. Sometimes you can even do that to get the start of the technique, but I don't bother. But from here, now you do your Agiyuki. First down here, then up here. Agiyuki. To the stomach 5 point, which is just there, under the jaw, which is why you have to roll. And let's look at the technique. From here, it's a very fast technique and very painful. It takes this arm out. It always turns the head. Okay, just stand on your feet together. 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 Yes. Have you got all your own teeth? Sure, you haven't got anybody else's. Okay, these points here, I'm not going to, this is the point you aim here. There. Yes? to knock people out with these. Very easy. Okay, you stand, he just let go. He grabs. As soon as he grabs, you go back away from that. Away from here, down here. Now, I don't want to do this to you, really. Oh, well. Don't kimmate. If you've been on some of my other seminars, you know that's the worst thing to do. Watch, if I do it, I'll do it. Now, I hit that, but he's still there, and I made it strong. That's not the way. From here, that's very different, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So don't kimmate, just go through. And when you have done it a couple of times, then you've got to go for speed. So as soon as it comes on there, it's done. It's that fast. The fight should be over. If you look closely at my very pretty face, you'll see a scar underneath there. That scar tells me every time you don't wrestle with people's wrists in a fight, because wrists get slippy and people can kick you. People you haven't even seen. Okay, so I talked about what I know. You do not get into a wrestling match because it will take him a split second to hit you with that hand. You only need this, that, and then you just move back from here, this way, down, there. Okay, very bang, and do it. Very fast. But don't ever look down and start wrestling. You haven't time. You should have your mind on everything. So, boom, it's done. Okay? So don't wrestle for grips. You must understand that Kyusho is not magic. You don't always get it right. You can't always get anything right. So Kyusho has a number of backups. The actual technique is from the grab down here like this, is if you... And that's it. If he doesn't fall all the way down, then you must do something else. So either you can knock them out with these techniques, and actually I cheated a bit because I didn't just take the lung 5 point, I took the large intestine point on the outside as well, because then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Okay, so I don't say yet. But if I get this wrong, okay, and he's going to hit me, and I'm going to, like there, whoops, sorry. If I get it, okay, see, because I only took the 1 point, he'll go down, but he won't pass out, although you can see his blood pressure's shot up because of the colour of it now. Okay, so you, on the way down, you bang, and that finishes it. So you understand that you can take them out if you hit very fast, just with this. And if you don't quite do that, then up, into that curl of the jaw, this way, bang, up. So it strikes into that stomach 5 point here, okay? But the technique, if we do it slowly, looks like classical Kihon. From here, down here. This hand is trying to come back here in Hikite, with this in it. This is the down movement from here, and then up. And your legs do the same, from back stance, up into Zenko Tsudachi. So it's a proper basic Kihon technique, and very dangerous. The grab comes in, that head will come straight at you like that and turn. I didn't even lift my arm. If I'd have lifted it, he wouldn't be here. But it's the speed that you do it at, so that he grabs hold, it's done. But I have to stop it here, because to do that would be a dead body. Okay, Yamazuki, it's a technique from Teki Basai, from here, amongst others. And most people say it's aimed here and here, okay, and here and here. No, it isn't. If you look at other styles versions, they don't have their hands that way, they have them that way. They're slight angles. Let me just show you. Oh, any women? This is very dangerous because it crosses the body and it's a potentially fatal technique. You go for the stomach 15 or 16 point here, and you go for the gallbladder 24 point down here. Okay, now I'll try and show you without doing it properly. I would use Nakadaka Ken, middle knuckle fists. Okay, because that will penetrate. But if I just do here, just make yourself fairly strong. Okay, that's how you're taught it's to be. But if you do it from here, this way in here, and I'll try and do it gently. It's very different. It's to shut the heart down. Now I use the other side of the body. Okay, I didn't use the heart side. And I don't want you using the heart side. In the kata, boom, boom. It doesn't say you've got a fool that's standing there letting you hit him 3 times. It tells you, okay, one way or the other way is equally effective. But then it tells you that that way is a dangerous way, because that way is stomach here, gallbladder point here, this way. Now, it's also shown in the katas as a big technique like this. But you'll notice that if you look at original katas, they don't have big Shotokan long, low stances. They have higher stances and shorter range technique because of the speed factor involved. If he goes to grapple with me, I just want to do the technique. That's all I want to do. Obviously, if I want to hurt, I will put my hips and body weight in from here, and I'll do it, okay? But you have to learn an explosive kime. To try and give you an example, if I put my fist here, and I just do this, that's one thing. But to do it with the hip, you can see the difference in the penetration. And that's what you must aim for. So this technique, your man just goes to grab like so, you come in here, Nakadaka Ken. To this point, there are 2, stomach 15 and 16, turn more, just above the line of the nipple, and the gallbladder 24 point down there, okay? In Tai Chi, there's a technique where you use a palm strike, one going across the body and one screwing into the body. You have similar techniques in Shotokan which do that. You've got to take it this way, in. Okay? I don't happen to like those on the inside of the body here because I'm a firm believer in making me safe. Okay? So I want to come in with something even worse if I'm in here. But this is quite a good, safe technique. As he goes to grab, you just put your knuckles here and here. Now all I want you to do to start with is decide which leg you're going in with, and as you step in, just push, and you can see the reaction on your partner. Here. Now, here's another point. You're getting all the good stuff today. In the katas, it looks as if these are done together. You see a lot of techniques that look as if they're done like these together. They are not done together. They're done together for safety. You watch the difference. If I'm doing this, that's together. If I'm doing this, there's a lot of difference. They look together, they're not. I set up here first before I strike to the point up here. Just a fraction of a second before. But this, I'm going to do it not with Nakadaka Ken, I'm going to do it with my ordinary hands now. So as the grab comes, it's done. That's all it is. That's how fast it is. But of course, I'll try and do it slowly. Now you must move slowly as well. From here, it's in this position, and then it's right through. The technique goes right through the body. It doesn't stop on the surface of the body. You just don't, he's not even there. You just do the technique. The grab comes, and that's done. You could, if you're not very confident for lower grades, and you want to be certain of killing your opponent, you simply change from here, this technique here, stays where it is, but this one moves from here to here. And you just change the fist shape to that fist shape. And you smash into the larynx here, smash the epiglottis. What happens is, if you know anything about murder investigations, strangulations, there's a little tiny bone in here which will always fracture. But if you hit this, conception vessel 22 disturbs one of the main meridians of the human body. Also will fracture the epiglottis, and things will swell. and mucus and all kinds of stuff will get stuck in the throat, and it'll be like a gag that forms here. It'll swell, and they will just stop breathing. So, and it's an instantaneous reaction. If you ever just hit anybody in the throat, the reaction's instantaneous. So the technique from there, instead of being just like this, okay, just it's here, that way. And again, it's that way first, because you look what happens. See, this is so neat. If you just want to fight the man, and he sees something coming here, his reaction will be to do this, like that. But if you do that first, no, don't just yeah. But what happens is when you do that, his head will go that way. He can't help it. If you go in there, it'll come like this, and it'll open this up for the second technique, but not leaving it so long that it comes down again. So from here, this is what you're going to practice from here. Back. Nakadaka Ken. Put them on the spots, okay? If you can press this... sorry.
Fingerprints.
Yes. Try and make this a downward strike, and this one an upward strike. Okay, so it's that way. Because there are techniques, if you put downwards on these points, will really collapse the body, okay? But be careful. That's what you're going to try. The guy goes to grab, and you just take inside line. Look, they're blocking. See, this is the nice thing. Everything's got more than one purpose. If he's going to punch with that, you're blocking. If he's punching there, he's blocking here. You're blocking here. Bang, bang. There's so many things that you can see from the different katas. Anyway, this is all I want you to try. Stomach 15, gallbladder 24, middle knuckle fist, stand there, and then let your hip go, and just an inch. See how far you can make your partner move back. Just with an inch, okay? You see, the katas teach you how to defend against grabs, punches, strikes, throws, bites, everything. But we have to start somewhere. We have to start with the basics. You already know about this point here, okay? You know about this point here. There's another point, let's use this arm. Here, pericardium 6 point. Pericardium point will affect the heart. But, interestingly, if you strike here, it makes this point, stomach 9 point, very susceptible. There's a lot of controversy as to why that is. A lot of people will say it causes the heart to shut down, and that's how you get a knockout. I don't think that's true. I have some of my students that are doctors, and we actually set up experiments where we wire people up to ECG machines, and we actually do the knockouts and record what happens. And we have never been able to make the heart drop more than about 12.5%. So, although they go down or get unconscious or get dizzied, it doesn't seem to be because of the heart, which is what the traditional theory says it should be. As a matter of fact, any doctor will know that if you massage these points in here, or the eyeballs, you will lower the heartbeat. But you will only be able to do it by about 10 or 12%. Now, most people in a healthy person wouldn't even notice that drop. You wouldn't fall unconscious. In fact, when you're sitting down in a chair, and then you suddenly get up, your heart rate jumps much more than 10 or 12%. And then when you relax, if you can meditate, if you can go into the alpha state, if you've practiced at meditation, you can slow your heart down. And it does not affect you. So why people go unconscious is something we're looking at now. We're trying to understand by the experiments that we're doing. But it looks as if it's more to do with neurological shutdown than to do with the heart. However, having said that, I'm telling you that traditional accepted theory is that you do not mess about with these points, because they will affect the carotid sinus, which is behind the sternocleidomastoid muscle in the neck of the artery in there. It's a baroreceptor which keeps a check on the blood pressure in the body, if you like. Now, to strike it hard traditionally is said to make the heart stop and slow down. I haven't found that, but they still go unconscious. Having said that, it is not a good thing to do, because you also have the vagus and the phrenic nerves which go down either side of the neck. The vagus nerve which affects the heartbeat, and the phrenic nerve which affects the diaphragm. the way that you breathe. If you break either of those, you can still live, but you'd be uncomfortable because your heart would be fibrillating and your diaphragm would not be under control properly. If you break both sides, which is what some of these techniques are for, you die. There's no way back from those. So whatever you do not hit these points hard. It's never a good idea to cause unconsciousness in your partner. However, I want to show you what Shuto's for, or one reason. The classic way of Shuto is if you get into a Genbrai, and now he's going to do a punch, and I'm supposed to step back, and Jodenzu each, and I'm supposed to and stop the punch. Well, it's a joke. It's a real joke. I can't think of a better way of losing your teeth than trying to do that. You might just about say, go on, now do it. Because why would I want to take this hand back here when this hand's coming in here and then try and get it back there in time? It won't work. It's why you don't do it in freestyle. It doesn't work. But what does work is as the punch comes in, and just stand. No, come to me, that's it. That's all right, I'm ready. Whatever happens, this is not the start of this. This is the technique. So as his punch comes in, as he swings, that's the technique. You take it across in there, then this hand now, as you're going out of the way, just goes in a straight line. And I'll do this gently. Head down. Relax. Just breathe. Okay. And you better sit down for a minute. I'm just going to say, can I have you? There, bang, in. There, that is the technique. If he's grabbed, okay, again you want to point here. So this is why this hand is here. This and it's sideways on because you want to go away from that. Cut down, hit, bang, into these points here. Now I'm going that way, which will not cause unconsciousness unless you do it hard. That is not the way to do it. The way to do it is that way. Okay? At an angle that way. Not that way. There's the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The whole purpose of that muscle is to protect what's underneath. But the muscle stops here. Look, that's where the muscle stops. So you go in here to the stomach 9 point, in that way. In a direct angle, straight through. And you've seen how dangerous it is. The harder you hit here, the less hard you have to touch here. You can hit hard here and just do this with your fingertips. Personally, we ought to switch the camera off now. Personally, if anyone attacks me, I don't go soft on anything. I'm very gentle. I try and talk them out of it. And I say, please don't hit me. And it's a nasty way of behaving. And if you believe that, you believe anything. Because if anyone is going to hurt you, I think you have a duty to your family and to society to survive. Why should the bad ones survive? Of course, you have to bear in mind the law. The law says you must only use reasonable force. The problem is, courts don't take place where the action is. The investigation takes place afterwards. It's very difficult to say what's reasonable force. But if you can maintain that you didn't have to hit with your full power, then that shows a reasonable concern for your opponent's safety. So you would do this hard because this can't kill him. This will certainly set him up. So you strike this way very hard, and then this way sufficiently hard. But not with your full power. Okay? Unless you are in a life-threatening situation, and if you know your life is on the line, then I'm afraid if it's between you and the other guy, you just want his head to be somewhere over there. Okay, so you do it with everything you've got, but you have to act responsibly. So the technique again, from here
again, this is against the grab, but it doesn't have to be. You must move away from here, so you can, and you can see what happened. You hit here, like that, and that arm goes like this. His head opens up, and then bang, you smash it in. But you don't do it focused. You do it what I call heavy hands. You do it, well, I won't, but you do it very limply and just let it go through, okay? All right, you love it. We'll just try it. Please do not, listen, do not hit those points hard, okay? This technique here is done in an action in towards your body, okay, because of the energy flow in the arm. You don't want to do that, you want to do that. And you can see the effect it has. It'll lift the jaw and it'll set this bang up for that. And remember, it's not this. There is a technique that way, which I teach, which takes out a point there, and a point there, which is totally devastating. But this technique is simply from here, and it's almost a straight line, going out that way. Heavy hands, okay? Teki Shodan. Most people think it's the most boring kata in the whole of karate. I'll tell you, it's the most deadly. There is no kata more dangerous, more savage than Teki Shodan. In fact, the only purpose of this kata is to severely cripple and damage or even kill your opponent. There's nothing nice in this kata at all. So Chokimotobu's favourite kata. There is somebody that insists that this kata is only grappling techniques. I won't mention his name because I don't want to embarrass him. But he says there are no strikes in it, and the Kyusho isn't in this kata, it's just grappling techniques. So I would simply point out to him that Chokimotobu himself said he has to be very careful with his kata because he once broke his opponent's thigh with one of the kicks. Well, it doesn't sound like grappling to me. Of course, I might be strange, but I think kicking is not part of grappling. It's part of Kyusho. So let's have a look and see what we're doing. We're going to start by assuming that this tells you a story. This move is the same as this move, this move, this move, this move, and this move. They all tell you the same thing. Somebody's grabbed you and you don't want them to let go. They always mean that. Sometimes they mean other things as well. But let me show you. From here, he's grabbed. Where's the danger? Exactly. So what do I want to do? Move away from the danger. So I put my hand here like it tells me in the kata. And I come from here. There's my opening move from the kata. Isn't that better than just standing there saying, well, not for anything really. But it's even better than that. I'm just rubbing. I did it gently and I didn't move because this is what the kata does, actually, from here, this way. As you move, you drop down this way. Your foot goes across. And up here to here. Why bother moving your foot? Let me show you why. Maybe he's a strong, big, strong guy. If you remember earlier on in this seminar, I was trying to tell you about dropping your body weight into your technique, yes? Do you remember? Dropping from here, then this bit, drop. Look where my hands are and what happened to him. My hands are still here. In reality, they'd be here. But he wouldn't be able to use that arm again. Every tendon would be torn. But it's even better. The kata goes from here. This foot then moves. Up here, up. Some people do a kick. Most people swing the leg. Nobody knows what they're doing. I'll show you what you're doing. From here, this knee comes up here. And then you go out. We'll watch. From here, there's the danger. There. Now watch what happens to his head when I put my hands down. Where's it come? And what's my knee going to do now? Bang. Then out. Here. To finish with. This is only one. This is the nice version. The hard ones come later. But watch. From here, this is the trick. The point here. You must cut into that point. See, if I don't have my hand here, it won't work. So I must do this. Then I turn it and I push. Then I drop my body weight. The other reason for that is if I just stand here without moving and I do this, I can't kick him. Can you see my leg's in the wrong place? I have to be across here to get a good kick at his head. So this is what we're doing. From here, this there. Now, as I pull this towards me, my knee comes up this way. So when you practice it, don't do that at the same time. See, every time it brings the head in as your foot comes up. Then you go down into a stance here and simply twist them away. That's the first, least dangerous version. Which you can, and if he's a good fighter, he'll try and twist away, and you'll be trying to do that, and it won't, well, the technique won't work properly. But there's a trick. If his arm straightens, okay, and you can't do this technique, you simply move your elbow onto that point here, hit it there, and they go down just the same. Very easy. You're never in any problem with it. This is why this move, one hand on the other, happens so often in all the katas, because once they put their hands on you, you should have won that fight. You want them. I'd almost say, please grab my wrist, please. So then I know I'm going to win. Okay, but this is what, another thing that you're doing the technique like this, and you're pulling it down, and it will work. But watch, if I press this point here, yin and yang, you press one against the other, here, that way, just lightly here, okay, and then if I turn my hand, it's much easier. He'll go down a lot easier. Okay, watch again. If his arms are like that out and I'm pushing, just stand up. You don't have to go. Stand up. Fight it. Stand up. Yeah? But if I do this, he's going to go. Okay, so remember now when you practice, use your feet. Step with, we use the other hand. Okay, use your feet so you go up this way, straight arm, press it in. These fingers go like that on these points on the top. They go this way. Come to me. There. Then this drops down that way. Okay, and then bang. And then out of the fight. Yes? Okay, maybe he's a really big guy. And you're doing this and it doesn't start to work. So you're here like this and you're in this position and it's not quite working. Okay, so then you take this foot and instead of kicking him in the head with it because he's not there, you take the point out here. Okay, so you just go there. Takes that point and then takes him down, right? So the technique is from here, this way around here. See, he's trying all the time to take his hand off because he knows what's coming. That's why this is important. If you don't have this on here like this, okay, he's going to slip his hand off, and it doesn't matter because if he slips his hand down, bang, you go into different techniques. But you really want this from around here like so, here, and then take that point out, just to the, above the knee. There are 2 points here, just there and just up there, spleen points. So this technique is done over like so down here. But now maybe he's starting to fight back. So you think out here with either your toes or whatever. That will bring his head this way. Then you step down, okay? Then pull him around. So all you're doing at the moment, from here, grab hold, there. If it's a bit of a struggle, take that, then do the technique. Okay? That's all it is. From here, too hard, take out, then do the technique. This you can then keep on until it breaks. Then from out here, this hand pulls to the hip. This takes this away, pulls it to the hip here. And this one, bang, hits to the gallbladder 20 point with this bone, just to here. Okay, you remember the gallbladder 20 points? So your technique from here now is 1, okay, 2, and then pull it away here, and bang, into the gallbladder 20, boom, for a knockout. By this stage, you've broken his wrist, his jaw, and you've gone for a knockout. Then from here, you catch. Then you don't do this. You come with your backside straight, lift, bang, okay, to the back of the neck, cervical vertebrae, bang, gallbladder 20 points. From here, underneath, snap. He's here, bang. Hand goes under, and you do this. Here, where you can see what's going to happen. When you've got him here, okay, you change your grip here, snap it back the other way, Kagezuki. Yes? Lovely cat. I'll show you once more. We'll do it from this angle. Here, grab, one, kick, bang, catch, lift. You lift to stretch the neck. Bang, here. Then underneath, so it goes this way, to twist. Catch the other side, twist it back. Then the throat, temple, Kagezuki. Kagezuki. If he's still there, run. Remember, nothing is for no reason. He's a big guy, he hasn't done this because he likes me. Done it because he wants me to stop going somewhere, or he's going to hit me. So I don't want that to hit me. So I move the other way, around here, this way, and I take it down. As I do this, if I'm really being nasty, and I'm not going to do it hard, I step across and let my body weight drop onto this point here on the wrist, which I push towards him. I don't do it this way. It must go to his centre line, here, and he drops quicker. Plus, his head goes this way, which allows my next move, which is my knee coming up this way. Then stretching him out to here. Lift with these muscles. Okay, you don't do it this way. Always back straight in karate. This way, push. Then from here to the cervical vertebrae here, gallbladder 20 point. Bang. This hand slips under the chin and snaps the head because it does this here with the head. From this position, this way. Then when you're here, it slides round and does this with it. Snap it back the other way. That way. And from here, open the throat for Kagezuki. Or twist the head for the temple or strange point, Kagezuki. Try it gently. Remember, from here, back, these muscles. There, one, underneath. You can't miss. You hook your thumb under. Twist. It should snap. If it doesn't, snap it back the other way. Then, finish. Throat, temple, strange point here. Okay? Grab, don't. One, kick, bang, catch, lift. You lift to stretch the neck. Bang, here. So it goes this way, to twist. Catch the other side, twist it back. Then the throat, temple, Kagezuki. Kagezuki. This time, we're assuming a grab's here. Again, consistency. I want that point there. Okay, so I simply go from here, and I hit that point there, and his face does this, does that. So I'm on there, and then bang. Either to stomach 5, conception vertebral point here, or if I'm very lucky, can get him along the eyebrow ridge here. And that makes a very good knockout. If I can't get the eyebrow ridge, I'll go for the stomach point, I think stomach 3, which is just about in here, which is another good knockout point from this technique. So what you're going to do now, first you want to disable this arm. And you want to bring, you see, classically this technique's here. And so everybody just make yourself strong. Well, there's no point in that. So let's go. But however, come down and then take the technique in, either to the points here, here, whatever. Are you all right? Yeah, right. So this is what you're going to do now. You want to disable the arm. So you take this point here, and you do like the kata says. The kata says you do that. So you take this arm away, which has the effect of bringing that up against this strike as it comes down. And so you're in this position here like so, and then from the next one, bang, into a point that does some damage. The actual technique, it's too cruel to do it, but actually this is only a part of the technique. See, while that hand's there, it's no danger. But what I want to do now is to escalate it so I take that point with my elbow. And this now takes out the gallbladder point on the other side of the body. So I'm actually going to go from here to do the technique. And you can see how it works, yes? You see why that's there now. Yeah? And that was only gentle, but you understand, everyone thinks this is the point. No. Nobody really knows how deep this gets. You must believe me, there's more and more. It's like peeling an onion. So this technique now hits here and here simultaneously. So I won't do it again hard. From here I'll do it light. And you notice I drop into the stance. Because again, dropping my weight that way adds the focus and the penetration to my technique. If I just do this, that hurts a bit. Okay? But I'll only do it very light now. But I'll put my stance in here, there. That dropping there now is the energy. Bang! From there. And you see that will bring him down to where this is. And even big people, I tried to get away with it on him, yes? Because I just tried to hit his arm. But I know that his head didn't come down to the right level. But then again, it's because I didn't hit him here, because I only wanted to show you the first level. But the fact of the matter is, from there, it's there and there, together, bang. And then you have the right technique. Yes? So you can try it, but please try it gently, because you'll see what people had for breakfast. If he's just about to punch, maybe to the stomach or something with this, and you're standing here like this, doing nobody any harm, then this elbow and this fist move together down here. If he punches, just punch. Punch. It doesn't matter, because it can't get any closer than that. It'll hit you, but it doesn't matter. You must understand that in a fight you get hit. The reality is nobody is Superman. If you fight, you must expect to get hurt. If you don't, that's a bonus. This is what I want you to do now. We're going to look at the blocking techniques at the same time. A punch is coming. It doesn't matter which hand, but because this is nearest, we'll do this hand. The techniques are Mawashiyuki. Mawashiyuki. Why? Because of the words of Masaoyama, the founder of Kyokushinkai Karate. In his words, this block, once mastered, makes you impossible to be hit by anybody, no matter how expert they are. His words, not my words. Then he says, unfortunately, it's not practiced very much in dojos today. Again, his words, not mine. But in my style of approach to the martial arts, I have found with all of my students, even for competition, this is an unbeatable block. So all it is, the tap comes in from here, take it away. Now, if you look closely at what happens next, you'll see how it fits the kata. Because as the punch comes here, there's the first bit. The second bit's coming on, I'm not going to do it hard, I'm going to come under here, into the points here, or down to the points on the inside of the leg here, down here. And then this one, punch. So you can see the point of what you're doing. If this hand punches, okay, take it out here. It's the same technique. You've always got a fraction of a second before that one comes. And this is why my teacher said you must move in. Because if he punches with this hand, you're in. You can take the groin, stomach 5 point. The gallbladder 20 feet here, stomach 5 point. You can take the inside of the leg there, stomach 5 point. Same technique all the time. And you see why your hands have to end up like this. So you've got a number of choices. Watch, the same technique from here, strike, strike. Punch on this side, take it away, strike, strike. This side, take it away, strike, strike. The same technique,
no matter what you do. Yeah. 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 Let's look at what happens if he grabs you here, okay? Okay, now what are you going to do? Okay, well the katas tell you, you simply take this point here, and you take a point here, out there. I'm not going to really do it because it takes people's legs off. You take that point there. If you kick it hard, that leg will shoot back that way. Okay, so if you put your weight on that leg, so that one's free, that will go back there like so. And then this hand here to the temple point or to the strange point here for a very fast knockout. It's a very easy knockout, this one. Okay, you can also do it from here, taking it to that side, but it is not as effective. It's more effective if you take the arm on this side here, and you take the leg on that side there, and then come in for a knockout. You can, let me just show you by turning you around. Point, you might say, where do you aim? Here, with hammer fist. Here, triple warmer 17, the dangerous point. The stomach points, stomach 9 point, gallbladder 20 point, any of the points here, one very good way to hurt well, to do a lot of damage, is to wrap the whole part of the fist and forearm around these points here. Everything. So you're in this position here, the grabs come in. Now, common sense. Now you need Sanchin Dachi. Toes in, groin protected. Head down. He can knee your stomach. He can't knee your groin or the points on the inside of your leg. He can't hit you with his head, because if he does, he hits his own head on the top of yours. So from this position here, you take out some of the arm points, then you take out the leg point, and then you strike. If you can get your arm inside, it's even better. You strike across here, and they will just collapse. They'll just sink straight down. Nothing dramatic, they'll just go down. You can test it a little, but not hard, by getting the point into the arm, just touching here, and you'll see that they'll start to go. But the important thing is to be guarded here. Of course, this is only one version of what this is. There are plenty more, but this is a nice, effective one, and it shows you why there's this Namiashi. People say that, just let go of me for a moment. People say that this is to evade a sweep, or to, I don't know what. But when I told you that Choki Motobu broke his opponent's thigh with a kick, it was this kick. It's called Namagishi, returning wave, and the Japanese will teach it so it goes from up here. I've seen some people that kick their own legs when they do it. I don't know why, but some people like pain, I suppose. It should be to come up here to the outside, in front of your thigh, while your hips are down. But this is the technique that he broke his opponent's thigh with. So when people tell you it's to avoid a sweep, well, you know it isn't. Because when you've been fighting, you just do that, or that. You never go like that. Okay, so the technique, whatever comes in there, you can push down here, pick out it, and strike. They don't have to look pretty, they just have to work. If he was stood here, and I go here, I've got to actually take the shoulder point. Then I take it out here, as that leg gets bang, here, gallbladder 20 point, and he just goes. That just takes the whole of the reticular activating system out. So that's it, bang, into here. You have to do this technique because he's bigger, okay? I can't get round there to do it, so that is easy. Easy to do. No way back. So be careful. Obviously, I'm also kicking him lightly. He doesn't know it's happening. He has his weight on it. His leg goes that way. It's not a nice technique, and it's fast. It's done. You can control it with these techniques, but that's just showing off. If he has hair, which he hasn't, you could do it that way. If you can't, get his head and do it. Okay? But this is the trick. That way. That way. That way. They don't have to look pretty, they just have to work.